we go. Milestones and actions. Um, every single strategy is a plan of action that is designed to achieve the goals and visions of a company. For each strategic goal, the business should have an accompanying set of milestones and actions. And that is supporting, you can call them supporting sub-goals if necessary. And a plan should be developed that assigns action and assigns initiatives to key employees, or even assign them to yourself in terms of how are we going to achieve these milestones and actions, or when do we want to achieve these milestones and actions by. So a simple thing as, okay, I want my sales to reach, let's just pull a figure out of the year. I want my sales to reach $50,000 by mid-year. That is actually a milestone right there. You have set June 30th, what I consider as mid-year, as the stage where your sales should be at $50,000. That is a milestone in action. You want to, another example of it is that, okay, I want to implement a new accounting system. I want to upgrade my accounting system. When do you want to do that by? Who do you want to achieve it? What are the actions that need to take place in order for you to get to that level? First, you have to research to see what system is best suited to your business. By what time do you want that research to be completed? That is a milestone. Who do you want to complete this research? Are you going to hire an external accountant to do this, or are you going to do it yourself internally if you have an internal finance team? Who is the best person to lead this project, to be responsible for this action? Those are the things that you want to consider when you're setting milestones and actions. We find that a lot of companies have ideas, they know exactly what they want to do, but they don't have it set out in milestone and action. So you're basically working blind. You're not really working towards a particular milestone. You don't have the actions allocated or established in a sort of way that they're actually, some employees or even yourself are accountable to achieving these milestones and actions. So we believe each business should have a list of strategic goals. Each business should then create a strategy whereby they're going to achieve the goals that they have set. And thirdly, when you have done these first two steps, you need to create an action plan, a plan on initiatives that are assigned to yourself, if it's just yourself, or external contractors, if you're an entrepreneur, or if you have employees that are assigned to specific employees. One thing I find is that a lot of business owners or small businesses, they try to basically do everything themselves. That is not practical. As I spoke about in the previous section, being practical about what you can achieve is also very important. Being practical is delegating these different actions or milestones to specific employees or team members or contractors, whoever they may be, so that they have the accountability to achieve these. You still have the oversight of seeing these milestones and actions achieved, but they're accountable. Somebody else is doing the legwork. So a couple areas, a couple questions that I want to ask. Do you have a list of annual milestones? I know this is the beginning of 2022, and the beginning of each year, we all have new resolutions, things that we want to achieve within a year. But as a business, we strongly believe that you should have a list of annual milestones and actions, what it comes out of a strategic planning session that would have occurred at the end of the previous year or at the beginning of the particular year. You need really to sit down as a company and decide, okay, what are the milestones that I want to achieve in this particular year? There is also something called what we call a 90-day action plan. What a 90-day action plan is, it really addresses those things that can be achieved in a short period of time, 3 months on average, which equates to approximately 90 days. So do you have a 90-day action plan with key dates? And again, with accountability built into it. And when I say accountability, again, I'm talking about, do we have these actions assigned to specific individuals, that they're accountable to seeing these things through to the end? The third thing that I want to ask you is, do you regularly, if you do have these first two things, a list of annual milestones and a 90-day action plan, do you regularly review and follow up on these milestones? Because it's okay to have those things in place. It's okay to have a milestone, a list of annual milestones, and a 90-day action plan. But if they're just sitting somewhere in a drawer and they're not being reviewed regularly, and you're not following up on these milestones and actions in terms of following up the employees to see where they're at, they really are not adding any value to your business, because it's just a document that's sitting somewhere to say, I want to do this, do that, this is assigned to this person or that person. But you're really not following up on them or reviewing them to determine where we are at. And this follow-up and this review really helps to strengthen accountability as well. And it also helps to make decisions as to whether we need to pivot. At the beginning of the year, and I'm sure many of you would have experienced this, at the beginning of 2020, a lot of companies would have done budgets. They would have set up a whole set of milestones and actions that they wanted to achieve in 2020. But here comes COVID. And a lot of these budgets and a lot of these actions and milestones for some companies that were set at the beginning of 2020 were no longer relevant. You needed to pivot. You needed to do things differently. So it is very critical that you review these. I mean, 2020 was just, and 2021 were years where I don't think any of us would have predicted would have gone how they went.
Yes.
But in a normal year, things do happen. You might be selling a product that is very vulnerable to a certain type of market. That market goes away. What are you going to do? Are you going to sit back and say, okay, my product is no longer relevant? No, you have to review to see how you're going to pivot to make it or to keep it relevant. So those are very important points in regards to first setting annual milestones, setting up action plans. And it doesn't have to be a 90-day action plan. It could be a 60-day action plan. It could be a 180-day action plan, but setting an action plan up in place and assigning people to these actions is very important. And the third thing that is very important is the regular review and follow-up of your milestones and ultimately your actions. Because without that review, you basically don't know where you're at, and you don't know what exactly you have to change, where you have to pivot to do things different. So that review is so important.